Bigfoot with a fan. And that's what we did. We went out together, and it's like 12 investigations later. He won't leave. Do you know how to get rid of him? So what the hell's going on here? I left you alone for 1 second.
Podcast here, sir.
Yeah, I left you alone for 1 second. You take the show over, goddammit. Saying, the best I can think of is tweakers are out in the woods making tree structures. That's what that's what you meant.
You know, it damn sure wasn't a bunch of Boy Scouts. I told you that.
Suddenly go blowing that way.
Right.
You guys will know.
Yeah.
Well, red alert. The producer's here. Bobby Lee.
These millionaires don't know what Prime is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What are these lowly people drinking?
You know, something like Dog Man, right? And I have no dog in the fight, so to speak.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Banter, Richie B podcast, baby. Oh my goodness, it's Sunday at noontime. And I got a kick-ass guest, man. I am super pumped. I'm going to get Wojo right in here. And we're going to bring our guest right in after I get Wojo in, because you know, like Wojo needs his own entrance, right? He's into wrestling. So he'll come in, let me tell you something, brother. So check it out, man. We're going to have some fun. You ready? We got a crowd building. We got some good juju in the house. We got the good vibes flowing. Let's go. Mr. Wojo, don't yell in my ear, please. My volume's up. Thank you.
Hello. Boom. Oh, I ain't gonna change. How we doing? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Hey, yeah, me too. We're gonna bring our guest right in, and then we can all say hi to everybody on the side. Someone that I've grown to love his work. I love his attitude. It's kind of what I talked about prior to coming on the air when I was live a little bit earlier. That good vibe, that good juju when you're out there researching, the helpfulness. He's been nothing but kind to us and accommodating, and we worked out a schedule together to get here. And easy flow, man, easy flow. So just be a good person, man. This is just Bigfoot. Relax, everybody. Just be a good person, right? And we got one of those today, so I'm super pumped to have him. Welcome to the stage, Jason Kenzie. Oh, he's sleeping. Never mind.
Oh, too relaxed. Way too relaxed, let me tell you.
Welcome, Mr. Jason Kenzie, to the show. Thank you for being here, sir. We have a lot of people on the side. We're going to go down and say hi to them real quick, and then we're going to hit it. I know you're a very busy man, by the way. Bro. I'm looking at your stuff going, and I'm over here, mind you, I got 7 kids, but I'm over here going, how the heck does this man do that?
You know what? Searching for Sasquatch is like having 100 kids.
7 kids? 100 kids. All right. So technically,
well.
I know we
7.
Oh, he's a topper, Richie.
Yeah.
You already 3 kids to his 100.
Don't you come on the show.
When you have 3 kids and more, it's like having 100 kids.
I agree. That's what I said to somebody. They're like, oh, we have 3 kids. We're about to have our 4th. I go, no difference. Trust me. It's just about the individual attitude problems you got to deal with. So anyways, as I were, thank you so much for being here. Let's say hi to everybody. Look at this. Big Daddy Andy's in the house. Oh, first of all, welcome everybody to the Get Haunted platform. Thank you to Rob, Sarah, and Courtney for reaching out to them and allowing me to have this special time. My shows are 6 p.m. Eastern time on Saturdays. And I said, yo, man, I got a very special guest. Can I do noontime on Sunday? Absolutely no issue ever. So make sure you always tune into the P3, the Paranormal podcast platform. You never know what might show up on a Sunday. Like me, Jason Kenzie and Wojo. Weird, right? Hey, Big Andy, what's up, dude? Lisa, our teammate from Boots on the Ground Bigfoot Investigation, says, I wore my shirt to run errands and people commented. I know that guy. Oh, they know me.
I wore a cologne just for this.
You did?
So
I thought
He's a Bigfoot cologne.
Yeah, it's sweaty pine trees.
Sweaty pine.
So check it out. Laradox, how are you? Very good stream. Okay, good. I'm glad we got your approval, young man. It looks like a young man. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to Jason Kenzie's YouTube channel, which I showed a little bit of, but I got to show that clip again because it's freaking funny. I just love that clip. That's what I'm talking about, that whole clip. Damien's here. Oh, we got our friend Brandy here. Hi, Brandy. Say hi to Jason, everybody. Heidi.
Hey, Brandy.
Heidi.
Mr. Moderator. Heidi.
Oh,
Heidi,
the
what's
one,
up?
the one and only Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. She's a
Lynn.
fellow Canadian medium, and she's amazing human being. You guys should talk more.
I'm talking to her now.
Yeah. What's he saying, Kerry? What's he saying?
Oh, well, that was me.
It says, will you accept a collect call from Jason Kenzie?
I got my front view, my side view.
1-900 Kenzie. All right, here we go. Someone likes Wojo. All right, cool. We got Mary Newbert. Love you, Mary. Pleasure
Mary.
to meet you. A big hello from Scotland, Jason. Everybody's saying hi, Jason. Country competent. Now the cool thing here, Jason. Yeah, absolutely right. So the cool thing here is we go out and we do live investigations on YouTube, right? And we have everybody hit their notify buttons so they know when we're out there, right? So it's become amazing, like a family. And a lot of people are regular. They come out, and they're on the side on my phone, and we find things together, like prints and bones that I find, and we'll go over that in a little bit.
You just have to, be able to see everything, right?
Yeah. What are you drinking out of, bro?
What?
Look at that.
What giant hand?
He's having sips of it.
Well, the funny thing is, in all my podcasts that I do, I always have a big one. And I wait to see if anyone catches it, right?
Oh, we pay attention,
and
pal.
you are the only one out of like 30 podcasts I've done.
I'm like, is he like drinking shots on the show?
I change it, and no one has said anything.
Oh my God!
You're the first one that actually got that.
All right,
you're the first one to drink out of that shot glass in front of us.
Yeah. So let's get one thing clear here. You and I have both just met our match, Mr. Kenzie, because I'm like, I don't miss much, especially on here, and I love it. I'm like, does he have huge hands? Like,
yeah. They're massive. Look at them.
Look at those things, dude.
Hands.
Oh, you are right. I told you guys, man. I'm telling you, it's like Banter with RichieB 2.0. I'm telling you, it's so fun. So we've grown like a family. You know what I mean? And the people that come on with us and have a lot of fun with us. And I notice how you are when you go around, and I've seen you with like Russ LaCorde and the Kentucky group and all these different groups. Oh, and the She Squatches, they're really cool too, man.
Yeah.
That's unique. That is really unique, man. That's a unique set. Oh my God, loved it. So you have the same type of connection with them. So do you stay in? I mean, it looks like you obviously keep in touch with everybody pretty regularly.
I leave tomorrow, to fly out to Michigan to do a documentary on the Dog Man, and I'm meeting up with the She Squatchers.
Ah, sweet. That's awesome, dude.
That's awesome.
So all right, well, you brought it up. See, everything I do here is we don't stay a course.
Yeah.
This is a very much ADD driven podcast.
That's the best way to have it, right?
Yes. I've had it my whole life, man. So I'm very used to it. So how do you feel about Dog Man? I mean, he's kind of entering our Bigfoot realm, isn't he?
Yeah, like totally. Like in the last couple of years, the Dog Man phenomena has grown quite big. Either there's a lot more people seeing them, and it's a good thing that Dog Man has kind of like a wolf head. Like it looked more like a wolf, because I tell you, if the damn thing looked like it had a Chihuahua head, oh my God, I don't think it would be as popular. I'm like, all of a sudden I'm walking down that street and suddenly I saw it. It looked at me and it went. I was almost terrified. Almost.
Dude,
I'm going out there to interview some eyewitnesses, right? I'm going to go out there, meet some people who, say they've seen these Dogman creatures. One guy said it walked literally in front of him, and it acted like a dog, like a wolf. He thought it was a coyote, and then all of a sudden it stood up in front of him.
Wow.
And just kind of looked at him, growled flexed its mittens,
Paw?
and then it just turned and walked back into the forest, which is, it's quite. If you know anything about wild animals, like especially wolves and stuff, right? If they get that close to you, it's usually there's something wrong with them. So it's interesting that let him live. Like, what's the point of walking out in front of him, except for showing him that he's there?
And he's the boss, and it has intelligence. And this reminds me of somebody that we mutually know. You at least know his page, Red Dirt Cryptid Investigations.
Yes.
Brian Terrell has Brian Terrell is he's in my opening. He was just in my opening. He's the one that when he first found a structure, he thought tweakers made it. He thought people were out there doing meth, making.
Well, I would not be surprised, because out here, just on the by the ocean, you'll actually find structures that the tweakers have actually made along the beaches. I mean, that's by the beaches, obviously, but.
Right.
I have not come across a structure that is that well built yet in the forest. Not yet.
You've come to the right show.
I know.
Would you like to see
I know. It's incredible. And I'm waiting to see that. I have come across a lot of structures that are interesting. But I always say in the documentaries, I say, what is the purpose of this? Because it sure in the heck won't keep them dry. Right.
Right.
Right, because it's like three or four, like almost like a teepee. But I want to find one that is thick with that you can actually stand up in. A lot of them are quite small too.
They are quite small, and I think there's a various amounts of structures. And my theory, I want to be the structure guy. I know there's a lot of ridicule in it. I know there's not a lot of science in it, and I know they don't come out on pictures very well. But the things that I've seen, I was approached in my yard. This is how my whole thing started many years ago, and I didn't tell nobody for a very long time. But I had trees snapping, falling up. I own 3 acres, 94 acres, abuts it conservation. It's in the Bridgewater Triangle. And I heard somebody walking around out there snapping trees and everything else. I'm like, it bottlenecks. You have to have a purpose to be out there. Yeah. And at least at that time. And it just blew my mind. And I'd hear it all hours of the day, night, here and there. It didn't matter. When I say all hours, I don't mean all the time. I mean, it didn't have a specific time. And I started coming across these things. And I'm going to show you some pictures of a structure. And I kind of want to get your little, get your mind kind of going on it. But before I do that, I'm going to say it again. If you have an opportunity to talk to Brian Terrell, he has a really, really good Dogman story. And he is a raw, boots on the ground, Bigfoot guy. Mm-hmm. So when he brought up Dogman, I almost fell off my chair. I didn't expect it. So something just to keep in mind, duly noted. You want me to write it down for you?
Yeah, sure. Hey, send me a message. Like, send it to me in a message. Oh, there you go. Okay, I got it.
You're good. You're good. I'm drinking a huge thing of Gatorade, guys.
Me too.
Richie, so am I. Hey, Jason, I know if you notice I didn't have to move far, but look, I can play the same game, buddy.
I have that exact same. Thermos. I love it. Oh, exactly.
Oh, good. Do you know Mr. Wojo? Have I introduced you to Mr. Wojo, my co-host, my good friend, my confidant in the woods?
Wojo.
Yeah, Wojo just act like he knew you.
I know. I was a hitchhiker one day, and Richie just decided to pick me up. He goes, "Hey, want to go Bigfoot?" I'm like, "Okay."
Please don't hurt me.
We went.
Come on,
please don't hurt me.
Well,
holding a duffel bag.
An interesting thing. When in my younger years, I hitchhiked around North America. So when I was hitchhiking from Florida to California, I actually got picked up by a bunch of teenagers, like people that were going to parties, and they would say, "Hey, you want to come to a party? We're heading to a party." And I'd be like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I'd go out with them, and one of the best times of my life was hitchhiking around North America.
And you can't do it no more, and it stinks. And you're right, because when we were kids, we used to hitchhike.
Yep.
And we met all kinds of people, all kinds of interesting people. Because if they're picking you up, they're pretty open-minded people, or they're murderers. One or the other.
Either one, and you find out quite fast. One.
You're like chicka chicka chicka, roll the dice. Let's see.
Yeah.
Snake eyes. Bye, mom. You know what I mean?
Hi, where you going? I'm going to put you in heaven.
Yeah, yes, you've won. So I'm gonna play that clip real quick for everybody, if you don't mind. It's gonna be a share screen, and then I'm gonna show you a structure that might blow your mind. Now, the structure thing, I don't necessarily think they have to be shelters or dwellings.
Yeah.
I believe a lot of it has to do with the Native Americans, and I believe it talks about the chicken or the egg. Did they teach the Native Americans, and the Native Americans teach them? But they ran side by side clearly in history with the cliffs on the wall, on the stones, and in the caves and stuff. So clearly there's a connection, I believe, there, and one more spiritual than we perhaps can comprehend. You know what I mean? So to break a stick and say water over there, or break a tree and say, game trail over there, for them to understand, clan markings, and like I always say, they ain't like they got a friggin' Xbox out in the forest. What else do they got to do but make pretty little designs, right? So
they're playing sticky stones, like
right,
stones.
yeah,
Well,
rock paper structures.
I do have a theory that over the last 100 years, I think that these Bigfoot creatures, I think they've watched us so much, looking at their tree structures. I think now they're toying with us. I think sometimes they might be just building these tree structures and sitting back and watching us, look at stupid human, look at sticks, like who knows exactly. But it's just that some of the tree structures, they don't make sense unless they are built by humans. But some of the places I've gone into are so deep. I've gone in by helicopter, and I made sure I went where there was no people.
Right.
And then you find some of the tree structures there. And I love finding the big ones. The giant ones are like 100 feet tall, 30 feet tall, that big in diameter, something that, not even 5 humans could pick them up.
Right.
Now, Jason, like some of the structures that we do find, right? They're like artists. Well, as an artist, you get sick and tired of it. And what do? They tear it down, but they rebuild it in another spot, in a different structure. I have evidence of that theory, and it was one of the theories that I have on my property, because I take pictures of the area, and this is when I was just a novice and I didn't know what was happening. I suspected things, and I go out and take a picture of the area again 3 weeks later, and was told there was this X would have formed, or this crazy weird arch would form. And I'm like, that wasn't there 3 weeks ago. So I know it wasn't ice, snow, or magic whirlwind. I know because I documented it as I went. And these are the things that I did. And one of the structures, now that you got me, I'm going to veer left back to structures. One of the things that I found on my property was this.
Yeah, see, that's interesting. I find the bow shaped one, the one that pulled over. I found that in so many different locations, in different states, in different forests, and they look very similar. And there's always something that's holding it down.
Yes, correct. That's a good point that you make. Right now, this is about, to give context. This was at the baseline of my property. You walk down a game trail, and you would come around, kind of turn back and look at my house, but you couldn't see my house because it was acres away. And this was sitting there, and it was like this. And in front of it was what I called the suspended tree. And it was like about 15 feet up in the air, and it was straight across. And the tree was like that thick. Yeah. And there was another tree that had a Y, and this thing was needle threaded right through it.
Yeah.
And it was straight across. So I took a picture of this, and we researched it. I had another researcher at the time out there with me. We found Christopher Noel's book, A Field Guide to Sasquatch Structures. And on the cover, lo and behold, I looked at it and I went, "Oh my God, is that what I'm looking at?"
It's almost identical.
Isn't that crazy? So once I saw, where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Yeah.
So I went, I saw.
This just means that the Sasquatch had the same book.
Damn it, Sasquatch! But that's a good point that he makes, right? Dude, they're so much smarter than us. But and on this one is the asterisk. You look on the right side of the book, left side's my backyard.
Yeah.
So I started putting things together, Jason, going, sorry, something weird's happening here. You know what I mean? And then when I
came back to the structure, the dream catcher. What I call it is the dream catcher. You see on the left side where I'm standing, that's a suspended tree many years later. It's sense of leaning down. But you see the A behind me? It looks like a letter. That was the dream catcher, Jason.
Oh, yeah.
They broke it
Split
right in the middle. Yeah, it's right in the middle. It's not broken over to the left or broken over to the right.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's research, right? So we want to document that. We want to see it as its whole. You draw a theory when you start seeing things kind of disappear too, right? And then you go back to it. You go, oh my God, I was right. They do destroy their own stuff. I mean, no one else is destroying.
How many times I've gone down a trail, and then the next morning I come back and there's an X right on the middle of the trail.
Yeah.
That's happened to me a few times.
Direct message to you. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel I've had direct message, and then another reason for structures, right?
It's telling me that, hey, I'm here and I'm watching you.
Yeah.
That's a nice form of communication.
Well, that gives plausibility to why they do it. And that's always the question I get. Well, then why would they do it? And I'm like, well, wouldn't you? You got nothing better to do out in the woods 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah, I'm sure there's meaning in most of them, but other ones there isn't. And not only that, the other theory that we drew up, Jason, was and me and Wojciech have gone over this. Wojciech was a hunter for many years. I had a game trail. I had a game trail that went out behind my house. You can see the scat. The deer would come in. You could see him at the fence. You knew it was a game trail. Yeah. So as a novice, I put up a game camera. I got a couple of strange little pictures that I don't really show because it's too questionable. It's not deemed as evidence, but definitely deemed as discussion pieces amongst my Bigfoot friends. And I went out there one day to take the SD card off, and I go back in the house. I come back out to put a new one in the next day, and there's a pile of thorns, briars, whatever you want to call them, or for my friends down in the south, prickers.
Yeah.
Totally weird. And then a bunch of small saplings stacked up onto the game trail. So, and in such a way that it made you go away from my camera to come back to the game trail.
Yeah.
So I knew something with hands did that. So as I've gone on to investigate further, become more of a researcher, we're out in the woods and we're noticing these little arrows that are up elevated off the ground. They're usually a debarked pine tree, and they kind of run like this. And then along those pine trees, you always see deer scat. So what we think they're doing is altering the deer that know what the game trail looks like, right? So he comes up, and now all of a sudden there's a dead end where his game trail was. Well, he looks left, he looks right, boom, leg snapped, bone marrow sucked out of it, and off the deer goes. So we think a lot of these structures you see down on the ground are changing the path of the deer and the game for them to eat. And I don't think it's that far out there as a theory when it comes to that. You know what I mean?
It's like coning them off, Jason. To see all these prints, and then you start to see all these like twisted trees at 90-degree angles that are like maybe like 30 yards, and then it gets closer and closer. It's just coning them off. Like it's like, all right, I want to ambush you.
Well, us humans as hunters, we do the same thing with animals, right? We put stuff, we move certain stuff in the forest just so we know that deer will come down this one area.
Right. And again, Native American, right?
Yeah, they've been doing that for years, right?
Yeah. So why not have that run side by side? I think it's a great theory, and we always find deer. I mean, you can find deer skin anywhere, but in these places, you see it's a little excessive. You know what I mean? Yeah. And again, when we find places that we think might be a dwelling, we've been finding these bones out front, shattered, broken in half. This one's broken on both ends, and you can actually see where the bone marrow was dug out, but there's still bone marrow in the middle.
Oh yeah.
And these ones are empty. But I was wondering what kind of an animal just shatters bones. You know what I mean? Like, they would just attack you, bite the back of your neck, or rip your guts out, or something like that. But why there's no teeth mark where the compression is. So, why are these things happening? And we find a lot of them. I got a picture here for you in front of these lovely things, if I can find it. Oh, Richard. Are you new here? I'm new here. You see that thing right there?
Yeah.
So that's 9 feet long, 6 feet deep. And look at the bends on the left side. And something was bedded down in there because that was all flattened out. So these are in north central Mass.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
call
that
them.
They're coming from 3 angles, Jason, right?
Yeah.
But they also add a little extra weight to it,
Yeah.
right? So the
once
the pine trees to the right, they pull it from the socket.
Yeah.
It's not snapped. It's pulled from the socket. And
I
then placed
once
on.
found, I was with the She Squatchers, and we were, where were we again? We were, I think it was in Ohio. We were in Ohio. We were investigating the Grassman, and we were along a trail that is quite busy with runners and cyclists and hikers. It was getting close, but right next to the trail, it literally looked like it was made, all the branches were weaved in, and it looked like a blind where something could stand there and watch people walking by.
Crazy.
And it was very cool to see. And it looked obviously weaved in, like someone took the opportunity to, take sticks and weave it around and make it so it was like, camouflaged.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm not saying it was made by Bigfoot. I mean,
right. Well, I don't say it. I don't say it either.
Right.
Yeah, but we don't say it either.
Sorry, Jason, on that picture. Oh, it's okay. But on that picture, though, I went back the following week. Noticed we never even noticed behind us was a stand-up hut. And when I call it a stand-up hut because it was covered, I'm like, I kept staring at it. You could see like an opening, but you could see cover. Yeah. I'm like, it looks like an ambush like area because I would have like think of it as an ambush thing because you have the pine trees that were connected, but it was pulled from again the socket of a tree and placed on top. It was so high. I'm like, what the heck? I go again. They're plucking it and it's just pushed down. But it's 7 feet high. It's like, and then finding bones. There's water nearby. It's just amazing. Like to see.
Yeah, I found some big tree X's with another tree on top of it, right across the top. So that'd be a giant X, 30 feet tall, huge. But there would be a tree that would be placed on top of it.
On top of it. That's crazy.
Which is quite interesting.
Very. We found a 40-foot X in my yard, and I got pictures of it. And it's a perfectly symmetrical in the middle, and there was one going across, but it was across the middle almost.
Yeah.
It was perfectly awesome. Straight across. And you look up and you say, how would that branch fall and land there? There's like 80 branches in between.
Yeah.
You'd have to be taken and slid in and then placed on. You know what I mean? It just made no sense. You needed thumbs with it. But one more quick picture, and then I'm going to ask you a few questions I'm dying to ask you. So here's a little bit of a close-up of the tree bends. You see how those trees are kind of bent like that?
Yeah.
And I've set this off. I mean, like Alex Petikoff, like I talked to him about, he's like, I'm not in the structures. I said, no. And I respect that. Absolutely. Everybody researches their own way. But as an outdoorsman, as a wildernessman, as a guy that sleeps in the bush, what is that? And he says, humans do funny things, but I don't know what that is. And to me, that was a victory. I took it. I was like, yes, you don't know what it is. You know what I mean? But it was really cool. And that was the type of one that maybe you kind of lay down and shelter in. I've seen them up a little bit higher where you ambush and kind of snap the legs with your forearms, or the one that Bojo was talking that you could just stand up in. And there was actually a twisty right in the middle of that one. One of the branches was spun around.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of
breaks.
Oh, yeah, we found a deer shed by that, too.
Deer shed. Yep, we found that. Yeah. So tell me two things. I mean, they're going to be basic questions, but I want to know them. They're driving me nuts. You're from Canada, I believe, in
Vancouver.
BC. Yep. Vancouver. Okay. Born and raised.
Yep. Okay.
So I get that's probably a big Bigfoot area, right? But how old are you when you say I'm gonna go do Bigfoot on camera and do documentaries? How does that happen? And how do the two tie in, man?
So for 20 years, over 20 years, I was an animal photojournalist. So I would travel all over North America, in different places of the world to meet people with exotic animals, like tigers and bears and alligators and giant snakes and kangaroos, monkeys, and I would meet these people that had them as pets. So no cages.
Wow.
I'd have to, hug the animal, so to speak.
Right.
And I did that for many, many years. And then I transitioned in 2019 when the world took a breath and we all got shut down. And I was driving myself nuts because I wasn't able to do my web series, which was called Jason Kenzie's Animal Adventures. And that you can find on YouTube still. There's over 400 behind the scenes of my animal adventures to showcase my photography and what the fun that I would have. So when the world took a breath and I was driving myself nuts, I turned to Sasquatch. I was a 20% believer in Bigfoot. And I live very close to Harrison Hot Springs, which is a huge, it's like one of the leading places for Sasquatch sightings anywhere in the world. And so I started interviewing people and getting their eyewitness accounts on camera. And then in turn, they would lead me to other eyewitnesses. And then I would travel deep into the forest, and I found a lake in the middle of the mountains that had Sasquatch. What had footprints that went right through, hundreds of them, right through this mountain lake. And the lake wasn't that big. Like it was probably 1,000 feet, maybe 1,000 meters across in diameter. Like it wasn't all that big. You could swim across within, probably take you 15 minutes. And on land, I took a drone. So I droned the lake and I could see all the footprints.
Wow.
Yeah, but on land, I could see the ones that closer up. And you could see the toes and everything.
Wow.
I'm still not saying it was made by, big, hairy, monstrous cryptid because I wasn't there to see it. But
right.
I interviewed a bunch of eyewitnesses in that area. And then I took the footage to the First Nations people, and they told me I found the migration path of the Sasquatch people from Alaska to California.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was great. And then I turned that into a documentary, and that went viral. And then I was having so much fun. I met lots of new friends, and I love adventure and going into the forest and hiking and camping. And I know my animals. So I thought, hey, I'm going to do another documentary. And from there, I've just been traveling all over North America, making these documentaries and making new friends. And now I'm speaking at some of these Bigfoot conferences, which is so much fun.
It is fun, isn't it?
And you get to speak with us.
Yeah. Yeah. You've waited for this moment your whole life, Jason.
This is it.
Jason, I got a question for you on the. I'm sorry. On the film of the footprints in the lake.
Yeah.
And the gentleman said that the divers found like a hole or a cave area or something with the claw marks. They found claw marks.
Yeah.
How deep was that? And as a follow up, did he say like how deep it was or anything?
For what? For the
water
lake?
to get to the cave or the lake itself?
The lake itself. He was saying
So I believe that the lake was not filled with water at the time that these creatures walked.
That makes sense. Yes.
Some people say, well, maybe it's a moose. Well, have you ever seen a moose walk through water? They rip everything up. They're not. And these were, you could see the full footprints. And I think that if there was any water, it was just very muddy at that moment. And then it filled up. Yeah. Because it's pretty chilly up there most of the time. This was in the summer. So, the weather was super nice and it was warm, but the lake was still quite, but you could see, all the toes and the footprints. And
wow.
I could actually, I could probably just send you the picture.
Well, I've actually watched some of your animal stuff before you got into Bigfoot. I seen a lot of your stuff back in the
Well,
day.
we can get you in therapy over that.
Yeah, no, I would appreciate it. Yeah. Yes, please.
Get him the
More
wolf.
therapy. Never enough therapy for me. So true, though. Let's see.
Yeah. I don't. Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm gonna
Share
let
it.
me just send this to you. I'll send you the picture, the drone shot, and you can show everyone.
Was it coming? Oh,
It's coming through right now. There we go.
is it in my?
Oh,
There it
it's
is.
in your
Yeah, I got you. Oh, God,
messenger.
I don't know if I can- Oh man. Yeah, nobody
Yeah,
can see us but me.
It is
Yeah.
incredible. I've seen that episode. I'll tell you, it's
Isn't
just
that-
incredible to see
Isn't
that.
that crazy?
Oh, it goes through everything. Oh wait,
You can
Who's
see
that?
like
we have
You
an
can feel
intruder.
the footprints. You
Let
know,
me
it
see
was
if I can-
just really kind of a cool experience. And the eyewitnesses, the guy that heard bounding next to his tent, and they
Yeah.
would hear the screams and the howls at night, like the roars
That's a busy area, bro.
and the eye shine. They would see eye shine of things looking at them.
Let me see if let me bring this intruder in. Are you somewhere safe, sir? Yes or no?
What's that?
Watch this. I have an intruder.
Okay.
It's Mr. Ben Kennelly. Hello from Parastream.
How are you?
Hello.
hey
Yeah,
Ben.
about how are you guys?
Good.
This is Jason Kenzie, sir. Jason Kenzie. This is Ben. I don't know how you guys know. You know what the deal
We go way back.
Way
Oh,
back.
yeah, years.
Like 2 weeks.
Years.
Like 2 weeks ago. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So Ben is a very hard worker, and he is creating Parastream, and Parastream has brought Jason Kenzie and I together, and I'm truly blessed for that because Jason's work is someone that I've admired in my field, and I have a certain few investigators that I get really excited about. So Jason's a lot like what we do around here, and all my people on the side know that, right? You guys all know how goofy we can get out in the woods. Particularly me, I kind of start things up with my ADD, right? So we have a lot. We have a lot
I'd
of
love
fun.
to go out with you one day.
Dude,
I have an
Jason,
idea for that.
One
I have
day.
an idea.
Ben, wait,
Anytime.
hang on a minute. Get out of here, Ben. Listen. I just kicked the boss out.
You just kicked the boss out. We're fired.
Well, you know
Guys,
what?
we're all fired.
You know what? It would be great to go out and film a Searching for Sasquatch documentary on some of the places that you go out to.
Oh my God, Jason, that would be an
Oh,
absolute honor.
that'll be a blessing.
And if you mentioned you've heard of the Bridgewater Triangle.
Yes, I have, and I've heard
Yes.
about. I've been wanting to go out there. That would make a great documentary. Searching for Sasquatch, the Triangle of Bigfoot.
Yes. Oh,
Look at this.
Parastream original.
Yeah, original. Yeah, that would not be
Okay.
cool.
yeah. Hang on a minute.
Ben had to get his word in. Figures I'm just trying to drink. I was dying.
I think it would be absolutely incredible for everybody because just the knowledge of that place, just understanding the history of that place, and just feeling the energy when you're in it. And when I've gone and done paranormal investigations, puckwudgies, and they have supposed witches, and I've seen the mystery lights.
Wait, let's go back a second.
Yeah,
What was that you said? The puckwudgies?
Puckwudgies.
So I was just talking about doing a documentary on those exact creatures out in, I think it's in the same area as the Jersey Devil kind of area. It's not as far as New Jersey, but there's an area right there that's supposed to have those creatures. And I only learned about those creatures recently.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Within the last
whole-
7 months.
Yep.
We got everything in our area.
So,
Yeah, if you look up puckwudgies in the Bridgewater Triangle, you'll get all you need to know.
So what people don't know is I'm actually going to be doing documentaries on other cryptids, like the Jersey Devil,
Breaking news right here on Banter with Richie B.
like
I like it.
the flying dinosaurs of New Mexico. And I'm not one for the lake monsters because it's you're over water and it's not, to me it's not as exciting.
I can see
I mean,
that.
I do scuba dive and I do
Yeah.
have my license, so you know, that would probably be more interesting to do underneath the water instead of just looking on land the whole time.
Yeah, right. You're underwater with your camera looking around.
Oh, imagine you could see me and Richie on a canoe. Richie would be like, "All right, Wojo, here, hold the anchor."
Exactly. Hey, what's that?
That's scuba diving.
Water.
Did you find anything yet?
Yeah, well, my Canada gear is now 2,000
I
years.
love. Hey, show Ben how big your hands are.
Oh, huge.
I already know. I was watching from the beginning.
Everyone's like doing this in
Funny
their
how,
hands.
you know, not everyone catches it.
I've been secretly like watching like from the beginning of the whole show.
Secretly,
so,
yeah.
So I also know about your tiny little cup.
The little,
Your little cup.
Dude, I looked over and I said, "What the hell is?"
I'd just be in the middle of it. I'd be like asking a question, like, "Really? That's interesting that you say that. What else do you have to say?" And then about 2 minutes later, I'll pick up the other one and I'd be like, "Yeah, I know what you're saying." only one person caught that. Right?
Thank you very much.
Well,
Thank you very much. And you know what the funny part?
Is if I do another podcast, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we're on to you." But if you go back to the podcast, you'll see.
You got to change it up. You got to change. You got to do like different shirts. You know, I'll be right back. You know,
The next time, Jason, you're gonna wear the leather jacket. You're like the Indiana Jones.
Be right back. Hold up a second.
I love it, dude. I love it. It is perfect.
You know,
what a fit.
I would love to speak at Paracon.
That would be amazing. At the moment, I am working on next year already. We've not even had this year yet, but we're working on next year. For 2025. We're waiting to hear back from the new venues that we're looking for. So spoiler alert, there will be a different venue next year. My plan is to try and... So with Parastream, you guys know about like the Parastream Awards and stuff like that. My plan is to try and link the two together. So it'll happen over the same weekend. That way, not as like we call it a cop out, but like it's not as a cheaper way for stuff. But obviously, with people like yourselves, both me and Ian definitely think, you know, like Richie's podcast and your documentary series is more than likely going to get nominated for an award, which is amazing for you guys.
I have inside knowledge, guys.
Well, it's amazing for you guys to get nominated. It's really, really, really crap for me and Ian because that involves a lot of plane tickets that we need to cover. So it just makes... Well,
where would Paracon be located?
I can't tell you that yet.
He tried.
I can't tell you because...
Country? I'm so confused. What country?
So, at the moment, Paracon will always be in the UK. At the moment.
Okay.
You told me Turks and Caicos.
Whereabouts in the UK at the moment will potentially be changing, but I just don't know whereabouts yet. I'm waiting for a couple of different things to line up for that. But the main thing is, especially with our people that are from over the pond, as Richie likes to say.
Over the pond.
So, for instance, if you guys were nominated, in my opinion, the best people that have been nominated out of the people that are from far away. So we have people in Japan, Australia, Canada for yourself, and quite a few people in the States. If we include those into Paracon and bring you guys to talk over in the British Paracon, I only have to pay for your plane tickets once, not twice. So it's like we call it killing two birds with one stone. So I think it just makes sense in that way.
I think it's a good anchor to
what I would love to do is when I come out there to Paracon, I say when because fingers crossed. When I come out to Paracon, I actually would love to do a Searching for Sasquatch documentary and go after one of the cryptids in England. So when we do this Paracon thing, would you be able to set something up where I could interview eyewitnesses and we can go into like the wilderness where you are?
Well, what I'm sort of thinking is I like to think long term. So with Parastream and the more people that are on Parastream, the more money that'll utilize up for us to be able to do bigger shows and more interesting shows on the original side, as well as everyone else doing their own thing. And we want to try and get collabs together, but like put them completely in a different world to where they already are. So me and you, Jason, have spoken over email about Para-Unity and everyone helping everyone. And Richie, you and we're both you, Richie and Rojo, we both meet Annie and know that you guys feel very strongly in that way as well. So we've always said that the Bigfoot Sasquatch community, it's just such a loving place, and you guys are always there to help each other rather than attack each other. No one gets jealous. You're there for one goal, and that's your research.
Yep.
So I'm jealous of Banter already.
Richie, you got a compliment.
What I would love to do is, if we can get the vote team to get both of you guys nominated for an award, it'd be really cool if we do shoot a documentary together, like all of us. So if me and Ian and a couple of our guys go over to the States and you can meet us there, Jason, and we'll do 4 days where you're talking about, Richie.
Triangle.
Yeah, in the Triangle. And we then also fly everyone over and we do 4 days in Scotland.
That'd be cool.
And we make one large documentary. Obviously, it's something potentially way in the future.
Yeah.
And obviously,
like
the more people that we can pull together.
That's in the future.
Yeah, that's definitely in the future. Don't be knocking on my door tomorrow. Like, come on, where are we going? I just get 2 emails saying, I can just imagine it, 2 emails. You owe me 18 grand for plane tickets.
It's all good.
But yeah, so that's what I'd love to do. I'd love to, but also bring in, so obviously we have big names in the Bigfoot industry, but also bring in some of the people that are just starting out and put them in that light. So therefore they can learn from you and they might have an angle that you guys have never even thought about, even though you guys are heavily invested into it. And I love that
it's all
connection that can be made.
Right? Brainstorming and getting other people's ideas. That's the best way to build something, right?
100%.
And that's, if I may, and that's why when my vision was to bring everybody onto the lives with me on YouTube, it was one of the things I wanted to have was way more eyes. I tell them to wear their headphones. They can validate when we hear a vocal or a tree knock. They validate it for me instantly.
Yeah.
We have found footprints together. We have had conversations together. I've learned from them. A gentleman, Henry, that was on the side. He's part of my Boots on the Ground Bigfoot Investigations team. Which is all over New England, because our goal is to put New England on the map and not just worry about everybody out west or wherever you might want to say Bigfoot is. He's here in our backyard, literally in my backyard. And Henry said there was a print found, and somebody used a Geiger counter and found radiation on the print.
Yep.
So we took a Geiger counter out for radiation, and we have these areas where all these breaks are and all the trees are debarked, and it spiked to 0.26.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, though. Like,
that's
so as
research.
simple as that, then just changes the field in general.
Crazy.
And that's when
high energy.
You guys are just sort of mainly coming into it and stuff like that. So it's phenomenal, and I think it's so important that no matter. So like Parastream's motto is, it doesn't matter how big or small you are, you get the same treatment. So. Yeah. It's only when you actually press play.
I'm hoping for a red carpet with like gold plated. I want to be picked up by a Lamborghini.
Jason, we'll bring our own Jason.
We'll bring our own.
I'll bring glitter and start throwing in the air for you. How's that, Jason?
There we go.
Now coming down the aisle, Jason.
If you speak at Paracon next year, we'll brand your name into the carpet on the stage.
All right, fine, deal. What do I sign? Well, check it out.
Hilarious.
No, I think this is all amazing things. I'm truly, truly humbled to be where I am, and with you guys, and that's what I mean. And to have such humble people around me that have accomplished so many things is so mind blowing for me. And when I'm just here because something approached me in my backyard, and then I've had my podcast for 9 months, and when I got into it, I did it. As I always tell everybody, is I lost my son. He was stillborn. And I remember sitting around mourning and crying, and it was like weeks at a time. I was just in such a dark depression, and I could almost hear him saying to me, "Do what follow your passion." And I got up, and I had goosebumps. And I got up, and I called my friend Bobby Lee, and I said, "I want to do a podcast." And she says, "I've been waiting for this call. You're perfect for this." And I'm like, "I am." And I get to get on here, and I feel so rejuvenated when I get off. You want to talk about therapy, Jason, right? You get to step back from the world. So I'm so grateful and thank you, and am appreciative, and I will always, always honor the word of handing it down to others and sharing what I know with them and accepting what they know as well, without ridicule, without negativity, without, pardon me the phrase, shitting on people. I can't stand it, man. It's very frustrating. So thank you for that. And I wanted to share with you before we leave, because Jason's a very busy guy. I don't know if you know this guy here. He's got a lot to do, okay?
He's always messaging me back like he's got nothing to do.
Fine.
I'm actually about to fly out and film another three more Bigfoot documentaries. And right now I'm working on I'm editing 2 more Bigfoot documentaries and 2 more paranormal documentaries.
Oh,
so that's exciting. Nice. And had some crazy stuff happen.
That sounds like a new show.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's an
extra stage on the website.
I think I sent you some of the paranormal stuff.
Yeah. I've not actually managed to look at the paranormal stuff yet. But if it's anything like your searching for Sasquatch, I'm pretty sure that.
It was actually pretty fun.
It doesn't matter. It could be the worst thing on the planet. It doesn't matter. You can still go on PowerStream. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
It could be. As I was saying, I've always wanted PowerStream to be a place where, like, you go on there and you see any team. You click any team that's on there. It'll take you to a page, and on that page, it'll look the exact same on every single person. The only time it changes is when you press play, and that's when it switches to their actual podcast show or whatever it would be.
And besides, it's so new, and then eventually you'll change it.
Well, more importantly, I want it to be blind, for the simple fact of there's no way for anyone to even comment on a video. There's no way for anyone to be negative anyway. All you can do is like it or not like it. That is all you can do.
Yeah, so therefore, I love that.
Yeah, it's like what me and Ian are both trying to take away, especially from the Bigfoot and Sasquatch community, is we want to get that message to every type of paranormal. So whether that be ghosts, like river sea monsters, vampires, anything, we want the exact same message over. It does not matter if you are amazing at what you do. Only thing that matters is you are out there trying to get evidence the best way you can, and you want to share that evidence. Why should anyone have any other right to be negative anyway?
100%. Bravo to you, man. Bravo to you. And that's why we named our group Boots on the Ground Bigfoot Investigations, because if you're sitting on the couch and you don't put your boots on and you're sitting there talking smack about people, you're in the wrong area. Get a life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So get your boots on and hit the woods.
Some people don't 100%. Want to go into the forest, which is fine.
Right. You want to see something positive in the forest?
Do you see anything?
No. It's not on night mode.
It's okay. I like that look without the night. Now, can you see?
There you go. Gotcha. We've had luck in Kentucky We got lucky in Kentucky doing whoops and whacks. So a whoop and a knock, basically. So I'm gonna whoop, and Jason's gonna knock.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I did 3 knocks. A Kentucky 3 knocks. I would laugh.
I like how he looks. He's looking at him like, "Oh, what did I do? That's what I do."
No, he's wondering why nobody gets the freaking joke right now. Totally get it.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
And then he nobody even told him to do that.
Face that way.
Echo.
So your echo goes that way.
Watch. Ready?
That way.
It's a totally different echo if you go that way.
I like my echo that way. I sound very nasty.
Dude, I can't with you.
Yeah, that was fun. That was good. That was
That was priceless.
He is the leading Bigfoot researcher.
My favorite clip. So my favorite clip from all of your stuff is where you basically are calling out, and then after doing 2 calls, you went, "That's a lady Sasquatch," and then just did the deepest howl of a "That's a man."
Oh, yeah.
It just cracked me up.
and then I said, "This is an old man." Sasquatch. This is an old man Sasquatch. And I was like, I got halfway through it. I heard my lungs doing that one.
It's so good. But
well, okay, so I'm going to tell you. So we're sitting around the fire, and we were there for 20 minutes. No, we were there for 2 hours just chilling around the fire. And I get up. I said, you know what? I'm going to do a howl. And obviously a couple of the researchers rolled their eyes and said, why? I mean, it's so stupid. You look like an idiot doing it. It doesn't get you anywhere. And I'm like, well, we've been here for like 2 hours around the fire and nothing's happened. So I said, just for giggles, I'm just going to do it. And I did the howl. No kidding. As I'm sitting here in front of you, within 30 seconds after I howled, we got this deep howl behind us. And we were in mid talking when it happened. And then all of a sudden, another howl came in front of us. And then the coyote started. But it was, and you should have been looking on the guy's face when it was like, oh. But yeah, it was, and then we went into
there you have it.
looking for whatever was there. And yeah, that was scary. Because you're going after something that could rip you apart in a heartbeat if it wanted to.
Absolutely, 100%. And I share that with people a lot. I've been flanked numerous times and I've never been eaten. So I've learned to relax more with them. And D-Who brings up a good point. Richie's son's voice is changing. He's 14. He kind of does all 3 at the same time. So he makes a high pitch, low pitch, deep old man pitch.
Yeah.
It's called puberty, folks. But no, I've had him come out with me and we do the kid whoop and things. And we change it up as well. And I think that's a brilliant move on your part. Like, we're sitting here for 2 hours, nothing happened. Why not try something? So we'll do that as we go on our investigation on our lives. We'll go sit somewhere quietly for a little bit. We'll come over here. We'll do a soft tree knock. We'll go over there and do a loud tree knock. We'll do a whoop. We'll do a call. We mix it up depending on the environment and the vibe. If I got something moving over there, I don't necessarily have to go, oh! He's already there. You know what I mean? I can hear him. You know what I mean?
It makes me wonder why they do howl, because if they don't make a sound in the forest, we would not even know they're there. But yet they go and they howl, they growl at you. Right? Like when I did the howl, like I said, we've been sitting there for like 2 hours, nothing's happened. Right. I did a howl, it howled back. And if it didn't howl, like it was only maybe 50 yards in the forest. It was like watching us. If it didn't make a sound, we would not even know they're there. So it baffles me. Right?
Well, they spooked us before, Jason. I mean, they were like literally like 60 feet away from us.
Yeah.
Because Richie's got incredible hearing, and then Richie goes, "Hey, to the left," and then we stopped, and then maybe like about a long 5 seconds, all of a sudden you just hear like the snap. It's like it's getting up or something.
Yeah.
But the top mass, the snap of the sound. He goes, "What?" He goes, "What is that?" He goes, "He's right there. He's right there." And it was just complete chaos. So, and then after, because I do have an audio, I did say shh because I'm shushing them in the middle of all this because I can hear in another spot more breaking. There was two of them, two different like shufflings going on. So then after the fact, we're trying to gather our bearings here because our heart's pounding, and because it's literally like right there, and then it stopped. So we're like, hey, we're your friends, this and that. And
what did I say? What did I say to you though on that one, the dusk? What did I say to you? I said they're gonna come for him now.
Yeah.
Remember I said that, and you were like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then all of a sudden you hear this long, drawn out.
Yep. The whistle
behind us, a long whistle. I've had this happen before where they've gotten
high pitch.
They're kind of stuck in this one area. So you go like this, and he gets to move a little bit. And then the other one will do it over here, and you go like that, and he gets to move a little bit until he can break free. And that's what happened. I called it right on video. You hear me saying it. Now he goes, "What do you mean they're going to come from now?" And then you hear this long whistle, and I'm like, "There it is."
well, also too is that they're still snapping, still moving at that moment when we had that episode. But the crazy part was, I was like, if you hear, respond and whatever. And then I just whistled. I just whistle right back. I looked at Richie. I'm like, what the, I mean, we were on guard. The heart's pounding. I mean, they're literally like you hear like little like whoop or like little voices and things like that. It's just amazing what's going on in these woods.
Have you guys heard the Minnesota roars?
The ones that you had, I've heard them. Yes, and
have you heard
you have them? You have them on your phone?
Yeah, I can show you on the phone.
Oh, awesome. Let's play.
Just before we get into that,
too late.
Yeah, so go ahead. Sorry about that. That was me, Rory.
So, just before we get into that,
my stomach.
I am unfortunately going to have to shoot. I'm actually at a family event, and I'm getting the death stare from my wife. So I'm gonna.
I see someone pacing back and forth.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave you guys to it.
You're gonna listen.
Great to see you both in the same. Well, all three in the same video.
Thank you.
We will speak about the future, and we'll hopefully do amazing things. And let's get Power Stream massive.
All right.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for all
you brother.
Work. We appreciate you. Power Stream, September 28th. Be there. Let's go.
Sam, see you later, guys.
That's all. Now play that thing now that he's gone.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we'll let you.
He's like, stop, and then he's like, Jason didn't care. I gotta play it.
I love it. Wow. That's nuts. Dude, that is nuts.
Is that
do Jay? I've heard them speak,
I've heard them speak too. I've caught that on film. You probably saw it in the Michigan one when I was in the
Samurai.
UK.
Did you get the Samurai channel?
Yeah. That's what it sounded like.
We were like 75, maybe 75 yards, not even from them. Me and two other researchers. So three of us heard it. And we put our bags down and we were talking about the investigation. We're right at the edge of my game trail. And the one on the right goes, Oba, Chuba, Hua, Jaba, Hua, Baba. And I was like, what the was that? And then one on the left, they always have a formation like a triangle. And the one on the left goes, Oba, he's bigger. He's like, Oba, Chuba, how about Chuba, Hua, and then the other one picked up. And when he finished that time, it was a loud chest pop or a knock. And then the other one picked up.
Nighttime? Was this nighttime?
No, this is right at dusk. It's still daylight. And me and Dave McCullough, who's basically a local Sasquatch legend out here.
Yeah.
And a BFRO guy, all that, and a folklorist and an author who was doing a story on me. She was standing there after an investigation, and we just kind of turned our head. And he goes, "What?" At first, she heard a noise. He goes, "What kind of duck is that?" And I go, "I've been owning this property since '02. No, but there ain't no ducks out here." And then the last time the big one went, he was really adamant. And when he got done, he did a knock. It was like that. And then it was like, Dave looks at me and goes, "I think they want us to go." And I said, "All right." So I turned around and we left. And it was like, at first I reached for my phone, and then I was afraid of getting ripped apart because they didn't know what I was reaching for. And I knew they could see me.
Yeah.
So I was scared. I was scared to pull my phone out, like, "Ha ha," and I didn't want to ruin the moment either. Right. So I'm like frozen going, it's a personal experience.
I guess
So
if you were.
yeah. But yeah, so you've heard that samurai chatter.
Well, no, I haven't physically heard it in real time. It was caught on audio.
That's amazing.
And at the same time that the audio was going, I was in a hammock tent sleeping, and actually it walked up on me, and I woke up when I heard it stepping towards me, and then it grunted in my ear.
What?
Like it was mad. It was
my
ear. Like it must have been 5 feet from my.
And you can't see anything through that thing.
What did you do with?
I couldn't see anything. That's the thing.
What did you do with all the poop?
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
oh my God!
I started uncontrollably shaking, and as it was walking, I could feel the vibration.
Yes.
Off the road.
Off the ground.
Hammock.
Yeah.
But, and then it walked off. And I was so terrified. But at the same time, there was audio that was put out, and that's when the language was caught. And then
I saw that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and then I showed it to the Red Lake Indian Band leaders when I was out there with the She Squatchers, and they can understand the language.
Really?
And when I showed her the language, she said, I didn't tell her what happened. Like, I didn't tell her I was in a hammock tent. I said, "Hey, I got this audio. Can you tell me what they're saying?" And she's like, "Oh, they're saying that they're mad at you. They're annoyed that you're there, and they want you to leave." And I'm like, "Really? Well, that's interesting, because I was in a hammock tent,
right,
under a giant X."
That's what. Well, the problem
because I was very smart, and I turned to everyone and said, "I'm going to sleep under this giant tree X," and they're like, "Jay, you know that means
balls.
Danger, don't cross."
Wow.
That's what the creatures, and I was like, "So I'll be fine."
Yeah. You almost were not fine, and I think it's extraordinary that you spoke to a tribal leader about this, or a tribal member, and they were able to break down what they were saying. Equally as surprised as I am that she didn't say, or he didn't, I think you said she, said that I would eat this one, but he smells like poop. So don't.
I was holding that tip of my hand going, "I'm going to throw it at you, because I'll be
Yeah. You ever hear of a Kentucky knock? Huh? You want some of that?
Well, I got Kentucky poop. Okay.
So listen, I know you're a busy dude, and I cannot thank you enough. And I'd love to collaborate with you. I'd love to be able to speak a little bit on the side. When you get some time. Yeah, absolutely. I'll even shoot you my number in Messenger, and we can make it easier to communicate at your leisure, at your comfortability. You can reach out, and I'd love to get you out to the Bridgewater Triangle. I think you would. It's a magical place. It's a big space, big area. My area is not as big where you are. That's what's cool, because I always tell everybody, if you're going to find Sasquatch, I only got 94 acres to deal with.
Yeah,
you guys have a lot
of acres here.
Thousands and thousands and endless acres. And that's what I say. So when you come to my place, you know when something's different, because you've been there. You were there yesterday. You know what I mean? It's just, 94 acres is a lot of land. Don't get me wrong, but it's not British Columbia.
Well, for all your viewers out there, if you guys would like to see my Bigfoot documentaries, you can watch them free on Tubi, Plex. Soon it's going to be on Parastream, And yeah, you can if you just Google my name, Jason Kenzie, you'll find my animal adventures also. That'll be fun for anyone that's into animal stuff and wants to see behind the scenes of some fun stuff. And yeah, I also published a graphic novel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's called
that's
Search
cool.
of the Sasquatch and the Hidden Treasure of Bigfoot Valley. And this is the She Squatchers. That's Tammy. There's me. That is the She Squatchers there. That's Todd Parsons. It's Dave Dominique. And it's basically an elite group of Bigfoot researchers that travel into the forest looking for someone's dog.
Yep.
That was taken by Bigfoot.
What a cool premise.
Action. And they pass through a portal and they come across a huge treasure of gold and silver. And this Jason geek guy is obsessed and wants all the treasure. And the Bigfoot people are mad and they don't want us to take the treasure. So they're fighting us. And there's a twist at the end. And we have to try and get out of this realm. And it's just fun. It's a fun.
That is awesome, dude.
That's incredible, man.
It's on Amazon?
It's Amazon. You can find it. It's like I said, it's Searching for Sasquatch and the Hidden Treasure of Bigfoot Valley.
That dude, you are an amazingly talented guy. And I like how you use your mind that it's so busy, but you can capture that busyness and make it whole. Right, and make it real and make it viable for people to touch and feel and grab.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing stuff.
Well, this is good for all ages, and I really wanted not just kids to enjoy it. I wanted adults to enjoy it too, because I was a big comic book collector. Batman, Spider-Man. I'm also a big fan of Indiana Jones and the Lord of the Rings and the quest, the adventure. So, I wanted something that just adults who are into the Bigfoot lore and they like that adventure and stuff. And it's not that expensive either. Christmas is coming, so
yes, buy it. Get out there and buy it. Absolutely.
Buy yourself a hat too. You haven't had an Indiana Jones hat.
Well,
you got the leather jacket.
I do. I have that jacket, but I do have a couple.
Where'd he go? What'd you send him off to do? Come on, no.
There we go.
The problem is I don't usually wear this because there's quite a few researchers out there that has this hat.
Yes,
and I kind of wanted to not. I didn't want people that I didn't want to be like everyone else. So
it's a Canuck look.
Yeah.
Eventually, I wear my hat backwards.
Eventually, I will go to Australia to do a documentary on the Yowie, and I will wear that hat 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
You're supposed to. It's hot and it keeps the spiders out of your hair. And
they got a lot of stuff.
Listen, let's just for the record, I'm good with Australia. If Parastream was in Australia, it'd be a no bueno for me, sir. You know what I mean?
In England, they don't have anything that can really kill you. Really,
nothing except like us when we get there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Here comes those North Americans again. Everybody hide.
Well, there's that Jason Kenzie. Quick, we better contact. Dang it, he's coming over.
He's got a knocker and a little cup. Run! You know what I mean?
Those hands are already on me.
Dude, you are awesome. I cannot wait to get out into the woods with you, bro. I think it's just going to be a great combination of open-mindedness, fun, and then serious research all wrapped into one. And the people, listen, you guys are going to want to obviously be there for the collaborations that are coming up in the future. And again, I can't thank you enough for being here. I know you're a busy guy, and I ran you right up to that hour and 15, I guess.
Thank you so much. All right,
I'm so grateful.
It's an honor.
I'll say goodbye, and so nice meeting you guys. And I'll be in touch. I'll be gone for a month, so I'll talk to you guys when I come back.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Oh, definitely. I'll send you my information, my address. Yes. You can sign one of those books and send it right over for Christmas. I mean, so yeah, we'll talk to you later, Jason.
All right.
Thank you so much, Jason, for being here. You have a good one.
Wow.
So, guys, usually I leave when the guests leave, right? Usually I leave when the guests leave.
But wow, that whole conversation with Ben coming in and Jason offering us to kind of do something with him, and just absolutely amazing. I'm touched. I'm overwhelmed. I'm seriously, I'm humbled. And thank you for everybody on the side that participated in that conversation. I know you're probably equally as blown away as we are right now.
Watch his episodes. 'Cause I'll tell you, me and Richie been watching. It's educational. He's funny. I'll tell you, this guy brings it.
Yeah, he does.
He really does. And I'll tell you, it's a blessing that he's on here on our show. It's just awesome sharing everything with all of us. It's just incredible. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. So,
yeah, what a mind. That was the craziest episode. I am so pumped, and to have him bring it up about coming out and doing something with us is just, wow. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's something there that somebody sees, and. What's this? Elvis left the building.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, Elvis
says the guy from Scotland. But anyway, so listen, that amazing special on a Sunday. It is now football time. I'm late getting into my game. We're gonna go watch the Patriots. Hopefully, they can build another dynasty and everybody can hate us again. That'll be great. So thank you everybody for tuning in for this special episode of Banter with Richie B and my co-host Wojo. Thank you so much to the Get Haunted Network, Courtney and Sarah and Rob, for allowing me to have this special time. There's a ton of great shows coming up this afternoon into the evening for Get Haunted. Make sure you tune into them. Make sure you like and subscribe to Banter with Richie B. Make sure you follow us on TikTok and Instagram and, of course, Facebook. Thank you so much to Mr. Jason Kenzie and Ben from Paris Stream. Big things are happening. Big things are coming. And everybody on the side, I want you to know this. You're coming with us. I want you to be there. You're part of this. And I don't just say that. I mean that. And I've said it in a meeting in closed doors. And that's the way it was going to be in order for this to happen. So please keep climbing. Keep climbing with us. Love you, baby Jack. I love you, Mama. I just got hit with the light. I was like, whoosh. And baby Jack and Mama, I love you. And Wojo, let's close it out with a Wojo thing.
Well, to all you new folks that were on here, thank you for coming. And just remember, keep climbing and boom, let's go.
Let's go.